everybody, it's Cameo Punk, and today we're going to do some Torchlight. I'm just going to tell you some of the basic things, like what inventory is, what the bar at the bottom that you'll see later is down there is for, and what's on it, and yada 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 yada. So let's just start making a character. I'll just go with easy, I don't really care. Now for the actual storyline itself, I will do that later. So we'll just do all the basics, show you what the first dungeon is like, and then you guys are free to play yourself. Alright, if you want to read the rest of this, just pause it, read it, and move on. Unless you're playing it yourself, then you can just read it when you do. Alright, so now we've entered Torchlight, and certain areas are closed just because it's the earliest part and the beginning of this game. So certain areas are going to be closed until after you've entered the dungeon and defeated Brink and everything. So this guy right here, he's got a quest. He wants the Gleaming Ember. Let's take it. These guys, they just want to talk. They won't be able to do anything particularly special until, you've beaten the first boss battle. This guy's shop won't open till he's kind of a luck of the draw. You buy something and you hope it's good. Over here we've got a fishing spot where you can change your pet. This is the waypoint. It's activated after every boss battle because that section of the dungeon is done. This is your stash. You have this man that you can buy stuff from. You have a shared stash, and your shared stash can actually share it between characters. So it's not just limited to that one character that you're playing if you do multiple accounts. There's another person to get quests from, and he's usually right around here. He's not there at the time. So, storyline.
Brink, over here! I can't hold them back much longer.
You all right, Sil? Rest here a while. I'm going ahead to finish the job.
It's no wonder Master Ulrich sent for my help. The Ember mines are overrun with these creatures. His letter was urgent. I have no idea how...
Alright, you guys can go back and read that. And whenever you accept a new quest, it's going to turn to a question mark. So before we enter the mine, let's discuss what we have on our screen. We've got our map. That's this little thing. And there's 3 ways you can have it set up. You can have it stick in the middle of the screen, and it'll block your path. You can get rid of it and just follow the tunnels blindly. Or you can put it in your corner, and it's not going to be as much, but you'll have it there so you can follow around. Next, in this upper corner, you have your pet stats. And when you have items to feed it, you can put it there. Whenever you have stuff to sell, but you don't want to go back and forth between town and the dungeon, you can just click this button, fill up your pet's inventory, and they'll sell it. And then these just are to the types of stances you want your pets to. You can do aggressive, where they attack every pet, defensive, where they only attack if you've been attacked, or passive, where they just don't do anything at all. And then we got this bar. So this is a no big whoop. You got your health and your mana. This is for attacking, and then here you have spells. And right here along this bar, you got your alt. This just toggles the names, mine entrance. Pause. This is if you need to pause the game. I'll just zoom up on your character and spin in a circle. And then this bar you can kind of set stuff to. When you have more items or spells in your inventory, you can click on those items and it'll put it in there, and all you have to do is just push that button and voila. You get health potions, mana potions. You have identify scrolls. I know will be easy to explain once we go into the dungeon how those are used. And then you have a town portal scroll, and essentially you click it while you're in the dungeon, it takes you to town, you go back through the portal, and the portal disappears once you go into the dungeon. This is the one-shot wonder, or one-shot wonder when you're using them. That's it. And then up here you have your options. You know, settings, exit to title, blah blah blah, your map, your quests. You got your story quests, and then you get your side quests, and your side quests are the only ones that you can abandon. And then, usually the best way to handle these is accept them, go back to the dungeons, defeat what they need you to defeat, and then at the end of the boss battle, go through the waypoint and come and collect your reward. Alright, this is your pet sheet. I was talking about that earlier. So, which one? There you go. And this is your inventory. So, if your inventory right here gets full of equipment, spells, and fish that you don't want, or you don't have enough room to feed or want to feed, you can throw it in here. And then, again, just click that button. It'll send them to town. But they can be equipped with types of jewelry, and they can get at least 2 spells. So, it's not that bad for them. As for you, whenever you get a new piece of armor at the very beginning, it's going to add it straight to your character. However, weapons change only if you change them. So right now I don't have a weapon, but when I go to 1, I have a weapon. You can learn up to 4 spells. There's more that you can learn down here, or at least hold down here. You got fish that you can hold down here, so you can feed your pet. And we'll kind of get into some of the stuff. Now we go to your character sheet, and each one is set to contain a certain amount of skills until you level up, and then you can increase. When my character normally goes up a level, I kind of just make sure it's all even and balanced out. So right now, if I was to level up, I'd be trying to take my strength, my magic, and my defense and match it to dexterity, which is at a 10. Resistance comes from cracked gems that you find all over the dungeon. There's certain ones that aren't any poison, electrical, ice, or fire resistance. They're kind of more hit per damage at your enemy, more damage that you don't get to take in. That's how that kind of works out. And your fame goes up, your status goes up, XP goes up, you level up. That's plain and simple. And then your journal here just essentially tells you difficulty. An ancestor is if you've already completed the game and you take an item from the gear of from that character and pass it down to a next character. So if I played her all the way and say I had a bow and I wanted to play it again, but I wanted to keep that bow, I can use that item as a gift from an ancestor. So that's what that means. And then you got how long you've been playing, your gold that's been gathered, exploring levels, steps that you've taken, and da 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 da. So let's go through the mine, and I'll kind of clarify a little bit more about some of the stuff I've told you. And now it's going to pull up a journal writing. So if you want to read it, just pause it. I'm going to keep going. So now we've entered the mines. And every so many set of floors is going to be different. So one thing that I can do, because I'm an archer, or at least I'm doing range, is I'm holding the shift button while I'm at a very good sizable distance away from my enemy. And what that does is it keeps me from getting hurt and it makes it easier to kill them. And your enemies, they can pick up small little items, like it'd be anything from gold to potions to health, mana, portals, weapons, armor, so on and so forth. And then you'll find chests all over the place. They usually carry stuff. Alright, so we have an unidentified ring. So what we do with our inventory is we're going to right click and then left click on the scroll. And it tells us that it's a ring that has a socket to which we could put a cracked gemstone into to boost it in a way. But it also tells us it has electrical resistance and extra mana. So we're going to go ahead and hook that on there. Jewelry is about the only one that you can't necessarily automatically go straight to the character. Everything else will, but not that. And whenever you're on a map, whenever you're on the maps, I always say this, constantly look for either levers or plungers in this case for the first several floors, because they will have extra gold and extra items that you can use. So now we're going to keep going. And as for monsters, they normally stay quite about the same. Nothing truly changes that much. I mean, there's normally gels. You'll find rats, dark creatures, rock trolls. And if you ever come across a barrel, I say this just to keep yourself safe from distance. But whenever you are near a barrel, keep your distance if you are in range or have a ranged character, because some of them have traps. Like they'll explode, lightning will shoot out, or sometimes even a skeleton will come out and try to get you. So that's one way to keep it safe. So like I said, your inventory, or items that you get in your inventory, such as clothing like this hat, will go straight to your character. So now I just picked up a leather helm and it's already gone to her head. Now if I want to upgrade the armor, instead of going from a level 2 armor to higher, I would have to do that manually by going into the inventory and doing it. And you kind of get new weapons when you do this. So see, this one has, you know, a level 3 and you got damage reflected. However, I have to be at a level 2. So I have to level up before I can use this armor. Also, you get other various types of weapons. We've got cannons, different types of bows, and you can also have 2 types of guns. So I'm going to put this pistol here, but I'm not going to use it yet because I only have one. And then I'll switch out my bows. Now, you might be thinking, well, why on earth would you bother staying still and shooting from a distance when you can move around? Because when you're firing at an enemy and you're not holding the shift button, you will be more likely to run around than actually take out the monsters that are around you. And then that just makes it even worse for you. So that's pretty much the first floor. First floor is the easiest because it helps you just kind of get used to it. And then once you start going down, they start getting more expensive, more tricky, more passageways. So if you ever want to find those extra hidden areas with more gold or more armor to help boost your character, then you're going to want to, you know, essentially explore the entire mine. That's what I normally do. So sometimes it's a lot of backtracking. So now my health's running out. All I have to do is push 1 and I've leveled up. And now that I've leveled up, I've got these little plus signs here on the side of the screen. These plus signs will take me to my stats, or my skills, and to my characters, or my character, her characteristics, whatever you want to call them. So I normally like to get everything nice and balanced out. So get everything up to 10. And then these are spells and attributes that you can learn. Each character has 3 different sets, and depending on what you are will determine what spells you are. So let's see here. For the sake of it, let's just go with long range weapons. And each level each level requires a certain level for you to be at to open it. Now, as I was talking about with inventory and your pet and it's full and everything else in between, an easy way to just, keep yourself from constantly going like this, back and forth and back and forth. An easy way to do it is to shift again and to right click. That will immediately send it over here to your pet's inventory. To switch out your armor, better than doing back and forth, is to simply just right click and it switches it out. Because see, now it's got that green background and the normal one doesn't. Now, one thing that's on here is that if you are far away from an item and you're in the middle of fighting, you can actually press shift again and click it and your pet will go pick it up for you. And you kind of have to be careful around things like this and open floors. There was a trap. Because more monsters will come out, and if you do not have enough health potions or anything of the sort to heal yourself, you definitely don't want to be around those areas. Because those are just not good for you. So now we've caught up to Brink. So now we've got Brink added to our group. Now you'll find several of these around. You'll also find armors or travelers, dead travelers, and they'll usually have weapons for you and items for that. Now what's special about these boots is that they add extra points to a certain attribute that you have. So that's what those are good for. Sometimes they're not the greatest. And what I mean by that is sometimes they're not always the best thing to have, but they help out quite a bit if you ever need to get to another armor or something. It'll allow you to do that. The only downfall is if you do not have that required amount of points to get that weapon or to get that armor on, the moment you take it off, that armor and both the armor that you just had on to help you do that is not going to be able to fit or come on. So that's the only downfall with that. Let me go ahead and mention this. When it comes to these slots, you gotta be kind of careful, and this is the reason why the pet is so great to have with these little extra slots, is because you are only allowed 20 potions, 20 mana, 20 scrolls before another slot is picked up. So let's say, for example, down here in this corner, if you're not looking at your inventory, down here in this corner it's going to say 26 potions. You will literally have a thing of 20 potions here, and then below it you'll have a thing of just 6 potions. So there will be a thing of 20 and then there will be a thing of 6. Same thing with scrolls. So each slot is only allowed to have 20 potions and 20 scrolls. So if you run out of room because you got a lot of potions and stuff, and it's small potions and you're kind of up there, or if it's big potions and you're still starting out, maybe think about saving your potions but putting them in town. That, or give them to your pet and let your pet sell them for more money. Because when you return to town after a boss battle, you can just get better armor. Whenever you see a red light around an enemy, like this giant spider, it's sort of like a boss battle, but that means they just have a lot to them. So these kind of bosses are pretty good. Alright, so now you can see that my pet's inventory is practically full. It's just one slot away. So while I'm down here, I'm going to click this button and it'll send him straight to town. And since Brink is here, it's not going to bug me one bit. So, see here. These are at 9, so let's take these to 10. And 11. And now everything's kind of leveled out. I'm going to get this spell, and I'm going to show you what it does and everything. Down here in the left click button, it allows you to take a shot, or at least use your magic. And that's what the mana is, the whole ordeal about that is. To change it, you just want to left click, and now when you press the tab button, you can go back and forth between two different spells. And depending on the deep level that you are in the dungeon, depends on how long your pet is going to be in town selling your stuff and trying to get back to you. Now, if you're wondering why are you just backtracking so much, I've said it before, explore every inch of the mine. You don't know where, if you have a quest for like a certain item like this gleaming ember that I said yes that I'll find. If you don't know where that is so far, odds are you've either passed it already or you still haven't come across it yet. Okay, so you're wondering where the heck did that portal come from? If you didn't notice the little beast that was running around, those are called phase beasts. And whenever you destroy a phase beast, there's usually one about every group of dungeons. They lead you to a secret part of the dungeon that you're on. I mean, still more people for you to fight against and everything. But it's one floor. And you go back to exactly where you left off when you killed the phase beast. Okay, so now I just picked up a spell. And it's the spell I can give it either to me or to my pet, and it's to learn a spell, or to learn it. I'm actually going to give it to my pet because I've played this game before and I don't need a spell like that, to be honest. And as you can see, my pet has summoned an actual flaming sword. And now you can see that after collecting all that gold and everything, we're now at a portal. And this portal is going to take us straight back to where we killed the beast. I'm pretty sure I already said that. But yeah, it'll take us straight back to where we were when we were first in the tunnel system. Alright, so we're actually going to end the episode right here. I'll actually go to town. Again, I haven't said this earlier. For the storyline, I'll just do that on another episode, because this is the end of this one, practically. But now that we're back in Torchlight, as you can see, people are there. And here's this guy that wanted something. Transmuting, what it does is, just to show you all, is I can take this and maybe this, transmute, and it will turn into something bigger. Okay, so this is what I was talking about when it came to gems. There are these little gems right here, and if you have anything that has a socket to it, like this ring or this belt down here, you can attach it to it and it will give that belt an added bonus. So this ring that I have that has a socket to it, if I was to use this, it would actually gain health recovery and strength attribute bonuses. So that's what those gem sockets are all about. To have a pet unlearn a spell, it says it right here, hold control and left click and they'll unlearn it. Essentially that is really pretty much it. So when you guys go down through this mine and you play this game, play it all the way. The story is actually pretty good. Again, if you don't want to watch it and you just want me to tell you, tune in for the next episode. Other than that, if you liked this episode, hit the thumbs up button. You got something you want me and the guys to talk about for the next NGG MTV episode, put it in the comments. Let's say you don't want to keep searching the name of the channel, Cameo Punk, forever in the search box on YouTube. All you have to do is hit that red button that says subscribe. And then that way, next time you log in, all you have to do is just click on my channel and it'll pop up to the latest video. But, until next time, see you guys later. So, bye!